everyone. Today on the Famous and Revolutionary Show, we will be talking about and featuring someone very special. Someone who changed our lives. Someone who uncovered the mysteries of physics, science, and math. Someone who is going to be here any moment now. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a hand to Mr. Albert Einstein. Woo! Thank you all. It's such a pleasure to be here today. And if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Einstein here will be doing autographs and handshakes after the show, so be sure to come meet him personally. Well then, let's get started with asking some questions. Mr. Einstein, when and where were you born? What did you like about your childhood? Did you have any hobbies? Anything interesting you would like to share? Well, I was born from Jewish parents in Ulm in Wittenberg, Germany on March 14th, 1879. 6 weeks later, I moved to Munich, where I attended Luitpold Gymnasium for school when I was 8 years old. Then we moved to Italy, where I continued my education at Aarau, Switzerland. People described me as a shy and curious kid. As a child, I showed interest in math and science, but I did poorly in other subjects at school. I had many hobbies. I liked stacking cards, playing the violin, and baseball. Good memories of my childhood. When I was 5 years old and ill in bed one day, my dad showed me a simple pocket compass. I thought it was interesting because whichever the way the case was turned, the needle would always point in the same direction. I think this inspired me to go in the direction of physics, forces, and other stuff like that. I see. I can still remember my childhood days. What jobs did you have? Were they part of the long ladder that you had to climb in order to reach your goal? Well, my first job was a technical assistant at Swiss Patent Office in 1901. I was unable to find a better job because I didn't have Swiss citizenship. When I was working at the patent office, I had a bunch of spare time. I used my time to write and produce my 5 major research papers. And here is a picture of me writing and studying on my messy desk. And yeah, so they got published in 1905, also when I got my doctor's degree. Then I became professor extraordinary at Zurich in 1908, and in 1911 I was professor of the University of Berlin at Prague. I was also director of the Kaiser Wilhelm Physical Institute at 1914. Then I immigrated to America to take the position of a professor at theoretical physics at Princeton in 1923. I became a United States citizen in 1940 and retired from my job in 1945. I guess that is where I started to be known throughout the world. So most of my jobs were professors and teachers. Here is a photo of me teaching in 1911. I'm teaching a class. Wow, that's great. You had a lot of jobs as professors and teachers and stuff. Everyone must have wanted you to work for them. How did you start getting famous? How did you start getting revolutionary? Do you consider yourself revolutionary? Well, my 5 research papers were the key to my success. When I wrote them, I guess that's when my life took a turn. They, I quote, changed mankind's view of the universe. Apparently, I changed how people thought about matter, gravity, relativity, time, space, and energy. The first essay I wrote was about the theory explaining the Brownian movement. Well, it takes a little time to explain, so I'll give you the short version. It's basically about the sort of zigzag motion of microscopic particles in suspension. My second piece of work stated the photon, or the quantum theory of light. I think light is composed of separate packets of energy, called photon or quanta. I think some of them have the properties of particles in light. It explained the photoelectric effect and how the emission of electrons forms some solids when they are struck by light. If it wasn't for me, TV would not be available for you all. So yes, I do consider myself revolutionary. The world would be very boring and uneducated without my discoveries, and they will have to wait quite a while until a genius like me comes and figures everything out. No, not to brag or anything. In some cases, it would be nice if I hadn't told everyone about the atomic bomb, because then the world would be more non-violent and peaceful. Well, that's pretty neat. Anyways, you haven't told us about your 3 other essays yet. How about we let you finish? Okay, so where was I? Oh yes, I remember now. The special theory of relativity. That's what my 3rd essay was about. It showed that time and motion are relative to the observer. If the speed of light is constant and natural laws are the same everywhere in the universe. By the way, I wrote this at age 16, so that's pretty good. The 4th paper I wrote was a mathematical formula that connects with the special theory of relativity. I'm sure you've all heard of my famous formula, E equals mc squared. Here is what I mean. It's a picture of my formula. Yeah. For those of you who haven't learned about it, it says energy inherent in a mass equals the mass multiplied by the velocity of light squared. If you don't understand it, that's okay. Do some research at home or something. My 5th essay, or paper, or whatever you want to call it, was about the general idea of relativity. In this one, I thought gravity was not a force, but is a curved field in space-time continuum that is created by the presence of mass. Cool. I heard rumor that you invented the atomic bomb. Is that true? No, I definitely did not invent the atomic bomb. Half of the credit goes to Enrico Fermi, who said basically, if you split an uranium atom, that would cause a chain reaction which could release enormous quantities of energy, aka a big bomb. And the other half of the credit goes to 2 other German chemists who actually did it. So I wrote a letter to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, warning him that this scientific knowledge could lead to Germany's development of an atomic bomb. I suggested that we should also start on our own atomic bomb. Apparently, my urging led to the development of the first 2 atomic bombs and the creation of the Manhattan Project. Cool. Do you have anything else you would like us to know? Well, I died in Princeton, New Jersey, due to internal bleeding and heart failure on April 18, 1955. Don't ask me why I'm here talking to you, though. My last words will never be known because of 2 reasons. 1, I said them in German. 2, the nurse didn't understand German and couldn't recall what the words were. Well, that's a mysterious ending to our show today. Be sure to watch our next show featuring Mr. Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple. And thank you all for watching. Bye. Bye, everyone. Thanks for